Today I'm giving my NFL power rankings post free agency, and a lot of teams got a lot better signing some new players to their team. First up, we have the Cincinnati Bengals. They needed to build two things up on their roster, was their offensive line and their defense. I really love what they did on their defense, signing Boye Mafe and Brian Cook, the safety. They didn't sign any offensive linemen, and with Joe Burrow getting hurt just about every other season, it feels like. I hate to say it, but I had to put that injury situation into account of where I'm putting him here. I am going to put him in B, but if Joe Burrow stays fully healthy, I'm putting him in A, but right now we just don't know. The New England Patriots are kind of interesting. Obviously, they just went to the Super Bowl, and a lot of people are saying they did really good this season because they had an easy schedule, which, yeah, I do kind of agree with that, but at the same time, I'm not saying that they didn't deserve it. Don't get me wrong, Patriots fans, y'all did deserve that, but also, I just don't see everything going perfectly right again, especially since they lost their wide receiver one in Stephon Diggs and hasn't picked up nobody as of yet. They could in the draft, but not right now. Still do think they'll always have a chance in the league with Mike Vrabel and Drake May, but I'm not going to put them in S. I'm going to put them in A. New Orleans Saints are also a very interesting team because they weren't amazing last year, but you saw them kind of go on a run to the end of the season, and also I think they got a lot better in free agency as well, signing running back Travis Etienne. I think he's a very underrated running back in the NFL, and also signing offensive guard David Andrews as well. I love that they're building up the offense around Tyler Shaw. I think I'm going to put him in B as well, probably above the Cincinnati Bengals. I think they're going to be a lot better than they were last season. The Pittsburgh Steelers, and they didn't do a lot this free agency, but what they did, I really did like. They traded for Michael Pittman Jr., really didn't give up anything, and that gives them a solid wide receiver too, opposite of DK Metcalf. And then signing Jamel Dean to help their defense, and Rico Dow as well on a cheap one-year prove-it deal. Then again, I can't really put them high on this list, mainly because I don't know where they're going to do at quarterback. Is Aaron Rodgers retired? Is he going to come back? If not, who else is going to be on their quarterback besides for Mason Rudolph or Will Howard? Maybe they sign Kirk Cousins. I'm going to have to drop him in C. Now we have the San Francisco 49ers wide receiver Mike Evans, and if Mike Evans is fully healthy, I still do think he's one of the best wide receivers in the NFL, and really, if their roster is fully healthy, that's the only piece they were missing. They did all right in free agency, but I'm really hyping them up because of how healthy they're getting this offseason. Hopefully they stay healthy as well. I'm going to put them and be right above the Cincinnati Bengals because them and the Bengals are pretty much in the same case. I feel so sorry for Arizona Cardinals fans right now. Y'all were one of the worst teams last year, only had 3 wins, and y'all didn't really get any better. I like the signing of running back Tyler Algier. I feel like he can be maybe the running back one in that offense. I like offensive guard Isaac Samala as well, but other than that, I don't really like anything that y'all did, and those two signings alone aren't just going to flip y'all's franchise around. So honestly, I'm going to put y'all on D. I really do think y'all are tanking and probably going to be the worst team in the NFL this upcoming season. I'm not going to lie, I really do not like what the Atlanta Falcons have done this offseason at all. Signing Tua Tagovailoa, which yes, he's proved that he can be a good quarterback in the league that one season that he played really good, but other than that, I mean, he's had concussion after concussion after concussion. He's not really been good in the NFL since he's had multiple concussions as well, and just all their other signings are mid. I think they're a decent team. I'm going to put them in C, right under the Pittsburgh Steelers. Baltimore Ravens were obviously in a very interesting position this offseason. Traded for an all-star Max Crosby, so they didn't sign their top players that were heading free agency, like Isaiah Likely and Tyler Linderbaum, because they weren't going to have enough money. Then they backed out of the trade, so they got the money back, but everybody was already gone. Like, it was just back and forth of what they're doing. This on Trey Hendrickson, though, so at least they got their top pass rusher. I don't love what they did this offseason, but then again, I still do think they're a good team based on just what they had before the offseason, so I'm going to go ahead and put them in A as well. We have the Buffalo Bills. Obviously, with Josh Allen at quarterback, they're always going to be in discussion as being one of the top teams, but I didn't really love what they did this offseason. Pretty much the only valuable thing they did was trade for DJ Moore because Josh Allen needed a wide receiver one, and even though DJ Moore is kind of regressing a little bit, I still do think he's a valuable wide receiver one. I'm going to put him in the A category, probably right above the New England Patriots right now. Now we have my Carolina Panthers. Obviously, they did amazing last season, especially compared to what they've been doing. I absolutely love what our front office did this year. Literally, our top 3 positions that we needed were offensive tackle with Ike Ekwonu hurt, linebacker and edge. What did we do? Get a top 2 edge player in free agency, the best linebacker probably, and one of the best offensive tackles as well. I'm going to put us in the B category, probably right on top of it right now. I am very hyped up on what the Chicago Bears are doing right now. Obviously, their offense took a huge step up with Ben Johnson and Caleb Williams. I honestly think he looked like one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL last year. He was so clutch. Main thing was their defense kind of sucked, and they really helped that this offseason, though, especially signing safety Kobe Bryant from the Seattle Seahawks. That was one of my favorite signings of this season. If they compare that to what their offense already is, I think they're going to be one of the best teams in the NFL. I'm putting them in A. I'm going to go ahead and put the Cleveland Browns in D. I think what they did this offseason was decent, but they need a lot more to help build up that offense. I really wish they would have got a legit wide receiver one. Dallas Cowboys are pretty interesting because obviously they had one of the best offenses in the NFL last season. Only thing was their defense kind of sucked. They traded for Rashawn Gary, signed safety Jalen Thompson as well. Even though they're good moves, I don't think they're great. I'm going back and forth between B and A. I think I'm going to put them in the very bottom of A though, I guess. Denver Broncos literally this close for making the Super Bowl. If Bo Nix was healthy in the AFC Championship game, I really think they would have made it. But I'm going to be honest, I don't think they really had the best offseason because they literally haven't signed anybody worth noting. I don't think they signed anybody. But then they traded for Jalen Waddle. I was judging them so much before the trade. I did think that was one of the pieces they're struggling with was wide receiver. So I think that helped them out a lot. I'm still going to put them in S, even though they didn't do a lot in free agency this year. Kind of up and down about the Detroit Lions. They had one of the best offenses in the NFL last season. I really feel like they needed to build up their defense, but they really focused on the offensive line, which they did lose a lot of offensive line to help. They kind of needed to rebuild that, but other than that, they haven't really helped any other part of their team out. So I don't think they improved much this offseason. I'm going to put them in B right above my Panthers. Tennessee Titans is one of the teams I absolutely love what they were doing this offseason. I mean, they literally tried to turn around their whole team. Signing Johnson, Trubisky, Bellinger, Wan'Dale Robinson, so he can be the new wide receiver one. I love seeing them giving help to Cam Ward. John Franklin Myers is going to be a huge piece on the defensive line. And then they signed 3 new cornerbacks as well. I think they're going to be a lot better than last year. I think I'm going to put them towards the top of the C category. Green Bay Packers didn't really do a lot though. I feel like they lost more than they gained, so I'm going to put them in B, probably right under the Bengals. Houston Texans made it to the playoffs last season, but they looked absolutely terrible in it, mainly because of CJ Stroud. Like, their defense was solid and set. All they needed to do was help the offensive line out to give CJ Stroud protection. I really do think they made some good signings and some good trades, but also I don't think they improved that one spot they needed to improve in. I do think they're a decent team though, and I'm probably going to put them in B, probably right under my Panthers. Now we have the Indianapolis Colts. I think a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I really hated what they did in free agency. They re-signed Daniel Jones to a 2-year contract extension. He's going to probably miss that first half of that first year of the contract, so a quarter of it. They went ahead and re-signed Alec Pierce, which last year I do think he proved that he can be a wide receiver one, but not the type of wide receiver one they paid that type of money to. And other than that, they didn't really bring any other key players, so I'm going to put them probably in B, right under the Packers. Honestly, in the AFC South, I didn't really like what any team did except for the Tennessee Titans, because next we have the Jacksonville Jaguars, and they didn't barely re-sign anybody neither. Like, I can't think of one player they signed off the top of my mind. They did lose one of their best offensive players in Travis Etienne, and one of their best defensive players in Devin Lloyd as well. I really do think they got a lot worse this offseason. I'm going to put them in B, right above the Cincinnati Bengals. Next up, we have the Kansas City Chiefs, and don't get me wrong, I love the signing of Kenneth Walker, even though I think Kenneth Walker is a little bit overhyped and not a top-tier running back like a lot of people are saying he is. But also at the same time, I hated what they did on the other side of the ball. I mean, they literally lost their top 3 cornerbacks, but didn't re-sign or sign a single DB in the whole class. Obviously, with Patrick Mahomes, I think they always have a chance, but I also think after what we saw last season, we know that the Chiefs need a lot of help surrounding him. I just don't think they got that help this year. I'm going to go ahead and put them in B as well, probably in the middle of it, right above the New Orleans Saints at least. Actually, you know what? Let me go ahead and rearrange this whole B category because I don't think this is the right order I should have them in. All right, that's a lot better. I'm sorry if I put your team a little bit further down. And then we have the LA Rams, another team I absolutely love what they did this offseason. Last year, they were obviously one of the best teams in the NFL. The only thing they were struggling with was their defense. Even though their offense was like top 3 in the league, their defense was probably bottom 10. But they went into this offseason and directly addressed that need. They got 2 more starting cornerbacks, both from the Kansas City Chiefs, and Trey McDuffie and Jalen Watson. I absolutely love what they did this offseason. I'm going to put them in S, honestly. If I had to pick a Super Bowl right now, it would probably be the Denver Broncos and LA Rams. Now we have the LA Chargers. I think the one need that everybody saw this offseason was their offensive line, and they tried to help it a little bit. They signed Cole Strange and Tyler Biadasz, which I think are 2 decent pieces, but not amazing. But honestly, I don't think they're going to get over that hump until Justin Herbert does himself. I know a lot of people love Justin Herbert. I think he's very talented, but he just hasn't got over that hump yet, like I said. I do think they're a decent team, though, so I am going to put them in B above the Green Bay Packers. Next, we have the Miami Dolphins. Oh, Lord. I feel so bad for Malik Willis. Like, they signed Malik Willis, then they lost pretty much all of their wide receiver weapons, so I don't think it's fair to judge Malik Willis when his wide receiver one is Tutu Atwell on their team. That team is not built for success right now. I'm going to put them at the very bottom of C. Then we have the Minnesota Vikings, and they didn't make a lot of moves this offseason, but obviously they made a huge one in signing Kyler Murray. With all the weapons they had on their offense last season, especially Justin Jefferson, and now that they have an actual quarterback one, I think they can be a lot better of a team. I do think they'll be another decent team this season. I'm going to put them in B right under the Green Bay Packers. Now we have the New York Giants, New York Jets, and the Las Vegas Raiders Raiders up next. I'm kind of grouping them all in one because all these teams were kind of bad last season. Well, 2 of them were really bad, but they really made a lot of moves this offseason. First up is the New York Giants. I love the signing of Isaiah Likely, and they're good and healthy as well. But the elite neighbors, Cam Scadaboo and Jackson Dar, all fully healthy coming back. Also helped the defense out as well, which they needed to do this season. That was their one bad spot on the team last year. So I'm going to put them in B right under the Indianapolis Colts. Then the New York Jets made a lot of moves as well, turned their whole defense around. I do think they're going to be a lot better, but they were so bad last season that I don't think that this is going to make them good necessarily. I kind of the same boat that the Tennessee Titans are in right now, so I'm going to put them right under the Titans. And the last in this little group is going to be the Las Vegas Raiders, and they easily won free agency. If you argue they didn't, I mean, I don't know what to tell you. They literally got so much better on the offensive and defensive side of their team. First of all, they signed Tyler Linderbaum, the center. He was one of the best players in this free agency class. On the defensive side, they signed 2 linebackers, Nakobe Dean and Quay Walker, and upgrading the secondary as well. I think the Raiders are going to be really good this season as long as Fernando Mendoza doesn't have like a really bad rookie year, which if he does, I'm not blaming him. Usually rookie quarterbacks do have a not great first season. I don't know if a lot of people are going to agree with me on this, but I am going to put him in the B category, probably right above the Cincinnati Bengals. And speaking of hot takes, I don't think a lot of people are going to agree with. Next up is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. I know they just won the Super Bowl and they were just Super Bowl champions. I really think everything that they lost this offseason is going to be a huge detriment to their team. They honestly lost so many starters, losing their running back one is Kenneth Walker, their starting safety Kobe Bryant, their starting defensive end in Boye Mafe, their starting cornerback Enrique Woodland. I do think they'll be a good team. I don't think they'll be as great like a Super Bowl contender or anything like that. If they do make it to the playoffs, I think they barely just do. I'm going to put them in the top of B. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are up next, and I didn't really have a problem for who they signed. I think they had some really decent signings. I really hate that Mike Evans walked away from this team. Like, yes, Emeka Buka was a decent last year, but I don't think he was proven himself to be a wide receiver. I know y'all aren't going to like this, but I'm going to put him in the top of C. So we have the Philadelphia Eagles, and they had an awful offseason, I'm going to be honest. They barely didn't sign anybody. I don't even know if they did sign anybody, but they lost so many pieces. Just saying that, I don't think they're an awful team because they still got some very good pieces on their team. I just don't think they're going to be as great as they were. I'm going to put them right above the Chargers and B. Last but definitely not least, we have the Watch Commanders. Didn't do anything amazing this offseason besides for signing Odafe Owe. But what I'm more impressed about this team is they're going to be healthy going into next season, hopefully, especially Jaden Daniels. So obviously that's going to make them a lot better. Put them in B, probably right above the New Orleans Saints. That, ladies and gentlemen, is my power rankings after free agency. Let me know what teams I'm hyping up way too high. Thanks for watching, everybody. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys out next time. Peace.